the practice of meditation. Welcome. This is the Practice of Meditation podcast. On each episode, we explore a question about what's keeping you from practicing meditation. And then we do a meditation that addresses how to practice with that very question. I'm Gena Bean, and I'm a meditation teacher at the Mindful Boston Meditation Studio. My guest is Rick, a fire alarm technician from Cambridge, Massachusetts. Hey there, Rick.
Hi, Gena Bean. I don't really meditate because I don't have the time for it. But I did have a friend, well, a coworker really, who had cancer. And as he was recovering from it, he was involved in a mindfulness program and got a lot of good out of it. So I am kind of curious.
Good reason to come to meditation. And it is true that everyone's really busy these days. I've heard some people say that they're so busy being stressed out that they don't have time for stress reduction.
Busy life.
Yeah, right. One of the ways to address being so busy is to figure out if it's possible to incorporate mindfulness into things that you're going to do every day. For example, we happen to have some coffee here. How about trying to sip your coffee with some mindfulness?
Well, I do drink coffee every day.
Great. We'll do a mindfulness meditation where we simply pay attention to a few sips of coffee. If you're listening to this podcast at home, you can play along and drink a glass of water or your own coffee. Let's pour a couple of cups of coffee here. And the way to start adding some mindfulness to your drinking of coffee is to just notice that you have an intention to be more present with what you're doing. So perhaps starting by just grabbing your cup of coffee, and since you're holding the coffee, notice the cup itself and how it feels in your hand. There might be some warmth. And when you're bringing the cup to your mouth, notice how the hands are holding the cup. Notice how the lip of the cup feels as it comes up to your lip. Take a sip and just feel what it feels like. What do you feel as the water or coffee comes into your mouth? Can you feel the temperature of the liquid? Can you just notice what you taste? And it doesn't really matter. It could be bitter, it could be sweet. There's nothing special about mindfulness necessarily. It just means paying attention with some kindness to what's really happening in this moment. So just take this moment to really feel what's happening with each sip. Is your mind racing? Are you breathing? When would your life be happening if it's not happening right now with this sip of coffee? So as you're drinking, simply feeling the direct sensation of what it is to be drinking. So, do you have anything to report about your experience of drinking coffee mindfully?
Yeah, it surprised me to notice I don't usually taste the coffee. I usually just kind of drink it down without thinking about it. But this time I did notice the taste, and also it wasn't really hot enough. I don't like lukewarm coffee as much.
Yeah. That's the thing about paying close attention. Real life is not always the perfect temperature that we wanted. I hope it was drinkable enough.
Hey, it's still coffee.
Right. So, we're just kind of creating a sense of being here with what is. And when we're practicing mindfulness, one of the things that we're doing is practicing how to just be with what's real, even when it's not exactly to our liking. It might not be the perfect flavor, it might not be the perfect taste, but it is our life. And in this way, we can build skills in not making the way our life unfolds even worse for ourselves by adding more judgment to it. The intention is that over time, we'll build an ability to be with things as they are. If your fire alarm panel has red blinky lights, taking a moment to have that breath. The same way that today with your cup of coffee, you had that moment to just feel what was going on. It's not a big deal, really. It's just a little mindfulness.
Just kind of accept it for what it is.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's the plan. But it takes time and practice to build the skills in this. Please join me for another practice on our next podcast. we'll be talking about the issue of not being able to meditate because your mind is racing.
Yeah, my mind certainly does race.
Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.